What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So today we're looking at a new show that just dropped today on Apple TV called The Last Days of Ptolemy Gray, most notably starring Samuel L. Jackson. That's sort of like what the main draw is for a lot of people, especially me. I'm coming here to see Samuel L. Jackson put on a great performance. So this will be my quick thoughts on the first two episodes. I thought 3 of them dropped today, but it was only 2. And so this is my thoughts on it, what I thought of it. Spoiler free, I'm not going to spoil anything about the story. And so we'll talk about the first 2, give a rating for it. So if you guys enjoy videos like this, please make sure to like it. Please make sure to subscribe if you are new. But let's take a look at the first 2 episodes of The Last Days of Ptolemy Gray. So let me just start out by talking about Samuel L. Jackson in this. He does a great performance. He plays this character that is very delusional. You know, he's an old man suffering from dementia, and that's sort of like what the whole story is about. It's about this old man who's living alone in his apartment, sort of like a hoarder, and there's a lot of mystery surrounding him. He's sort of trying to remember a lot of things from his past, and that's the main intriguement with this show, is seeing his flashbacks, seeing the mystery of like this certain item, and trying to figure out like why is this so important, you know, like what's the story here? So the first episode is a lot of just watching him sort of stumble around. You know, he's an old man suffering from dementia. He sort of like forgets a lot of things, and people sort of convince him like, hey, like I'm this person, he remembers. And that's why I think the first episode, I think it was fine. I actually thought it was good by the end, because there's a big shock at the end that makes you definitely want to check out the next episode. And there's some nice moments where you see like his nephew start taking care of him. I was like, oh, it's nice. Like, it was pleasant to see the relationship between the nephew and Samuel L. Jackson's character. And the story sort of reminded me of The Father. If anyone's seen The Father, it came out last year, 2 years ago, starring Anthony Hopkins. He won the Oscar for it. Same sort of concept here, but one thing that The Father does differently and better than this show is that with The Father, we didn't know like what was real or what was not happening. You know, like we were put right in the eyes of Anthony Hopkins' character to where we would see like what he saw. So it was like this very mysterious sort of like mind-bending movie because we didn't know what was happening, what was real. With this show, it tells us when Samuel L. Jackson is going through some sort of dementia spell. You know, it tells us when he sees someone that's not actually that person, you know, and we're sort of like put in his eyes, except like we're more aware as an audience. Like we know what is real and we know what isn't. And so my big takeaway from that first episode was that right away, I can already tell Samuel L. Jackson is doing a great job. And I wish there was a little bit more in that first episode to really get me like hooked in, because it doesn't really unravel or tell us too much about the story. It's just sort of like, hey, here's this old man boarded up in a house. Let's see like why, like what happened? Like how did he get to this point? Like that's the intriguement, right? He's 91 years old and he's in this hoarding apartment. He has dementia. That's sort of like, these flashbacks are weird. It's like they're hinting at something that will be important in the series, but they're not even giving us like any sort of inkling into like how important it really could be. So yeah, first episode was good. Now the second episode introduces a new character played by Dominic Fishback, who was most notably in a show like a movie Project Power, which notably starred Jamie Foxx. Anyone seen that? She was also just in Judas and the Black Messiah. She's a great actress. She can definitely put on a phenomenal performance. I do think that's within her bounds, and I think she in Judas and Black Messiah, she does do a great performance as well. And so here she's Samuel L. Jackson's sister's daughter, I believe. And she starts taking care of him a lot more. And again, like, there's just like that nice bond between them, just like what he had with his nephew. And it was just sort of like, that's like where my happiness comes with this show. Like those like the nice moments, or like the big moments, are sort of like seeing her stand up for him, you know, her take care of him starting to trust her. But this episode also introduces a core element to the show that I think is crucial for the story. And it introduced like this sort of sci-fi element. I don't want to say sci-fi. It's just like a advanced medical technology that will help with his dementia, which easily could happen. I don't think we're like too far away from really curing dementia or Alzheimer's. I hope it comes soon. So I don't want to call it sci-fi. It's just a very advanced medical thing that kind of snaps him out of his dementia for a time. And that's a really cool thing to add to this show, because Samuel L. Jackson just sort of flips. He becomes this deranged old man to a old man that's a lot more aware of his memories and what's going on. So it's cool to see that flip in his acting for him. It also helps him because he wants to like solve this certain crime that I don't want to say out loud because it's going to spoil something that big happens at the end of the first episode. But like in the second episode, he's trying to solve this crime in a way, right? And so with like this newfound medicine that he has, he's a lot more smarter now, more aware. He can sort of like, he wants to solve this thing now. The thing is that the medicine only lasts for a couple minutes or hours, and then once he comes back out of it, like his dementia is even worse. So I think it is a pretty cool concept that reminds me of a couple of things. but it feels new in a way, and that's definitely like where the main intriguement is. That's why I wish I had a third episode, because I think it would have really solidified my thoughts on the show about like where it was going, what we were seeing. These two episodes were similar, very similar, but also different in what the second episode introduced with that new element of the advanced medical technology. So that's where I hope the show is going to stay, which I think it will. I'm tired of seeing like the niece helping him out with like simple stuff like let's go solve the crime, let's go in and out of this medicine thing. Also reminds me of another. That's what I'm being reminded of, Dr. Brain, which is another show on Apple TV. Sort of reminds me of that, since that character also took some sort of technology and was going in and out of memories, trying to piece and solve a crime. But I like the vibe of that. I think it's very interesting. I love that sci-fi sort of feel. And I wouldn't call these sci-fi feeling episodes, but I hope that maybe it does get there. I hope that we delve into the flashbacks more, learn some more. So my rating for this, I think it's like a 3.2. I don't want to say I had the greatest time watching these two episodes. Definitely, I was intrigued. I was definitely pulled in by Samuel L. Jackson's performance. That's what I really wanted to see. So if you're only here to really see that, you're going to enjoy it, I think, because he does a great job and it's a lot of fun, what kind of performance he's putting on. And side characters are great. Like I said, like those nice moments with the family, I enjoyed that. But, there just wasn't enough yet in these first two episodes to really make me to really have a firm thoughts on what I think of the show so far. It's only 2 episodes. I can't really place my thoughts on it. But I will say I don't know. I don't know if I should cover it every week. I don't know if it's a show like that, to where we could like theorize and play around with it. I think it's a show you sit back and I think just enjoy the story. I don't think there's too many theories, especially they're not really giving us too much to even go off on. So yeah, I don't think I'm going to cover it every week. Maybe I'll do a series review. I'm going to definitely keep up with it, at least for these next 2 episodes, to see where it goes. But yeah, I'll probably do like a series review at the end. But if you guys have already seen these first 2 episodes, let me know down below what you think of them. Let me know if you plan on checking it out. If you guys enjoy this video, please make sure to like it. Please make sure to subscribe if you're new. But I will see you on the next video. Have a great rest of the day.